Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, today we're jumping straight into something huge, something that's moving incredibly fast. Generative AI. A lot of you were probably tracking this already. It's a massive shift. So our goal today, we got a whole stack of recent stuff, insights, developments, and we want to kind of distill it all for you, give you a really sharp sense of what's actually going on and, what it all means. You likely know the basic idea, right? Traditional AI looks at data, tells you if there's a cat in a photo, for example, but generative AI, that completely flips the script. It's about creating, making totally new stuff, like conjuring up that image of a cat riding a skateboard in space, totally from scratch. It's not analysis, it's actual creation. And we're seeing it everywhere. Amazing text from things like ChatGPT, obviously. Incredible images, DALE, Midjourney. Videos now, too, with Sora. And it just keeps going, right? Audio, music, Suno, 11 labs. Even complex code with GitHub Copilot.
Yeah, and what's really mind-blowing, I think maybe the real kicker here, is how often the stuff it creates. You can barely tell it wasn't made by a human. That's not just some tech demo thing. It genuinely starts to blur the lines. Who made this? Is it authentic? Think about copyright for artists or writers, or even just the bigger question, what does creativity even mean if a machine can do something so similar?
Exactly. That ability to just pull new content out of thin air,
Yeah.
it still has that touch of magic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So from your perspective, what was the real shift, the breakthrough, technically speaking, that unlocked this beyond just, throwing more data at it?
Well, fundamentally, it's down to these really sophisticated machine learning models. You hear about transformers, especially for language, the LLMs, and diffusion models are a big deal for images. These things aren't just looking up information. They've been trained on just unbelievable amounts of data. Billions, literally billions of words, pictures, code snippets. They learn the underlying patterns, the structures, the relationships within all that data.
Okay, let's break that down. Say for text. Yeah, it's an LLM. Write about iPhones. What's happening? It's not just finding an old article, right?
No, not at all. It's tapping into its deep understanding of how language works, the grammar, the context, the common associations. It builds that blog post by figuring out probabilistically what word makes the most sense next and next to form coherent sentences and paragraphs. But it's not just linear, like one word after another in a simple chain. It's considering this whole complex web of meaning it's learned. It's like a superpowered linguist constructing it on the fly.
Right, building this rich context as it goes. Okay, and for images, that cat on a skateboard.
Kind of a different process, but the same core idea of learned patterns. With diffusion models, you give it the prompt cat, skateboard, space. It often starts with just like random noise. Think TV static. Then, step by step, it refines that noise, adding details, shaping it, guided by the prompt and what it learned from looking at millions of real images. It knows what cats look like, what skateboards look like, what space looks like, conceptually, and then it synthesizes them, puts them together in a new way.
Learning concepts and recombining them. That makes sense. And it's that principal learning and recombining patterns that seems to be driving this absolutely wild pace of development we've seen, especially just the last year or so. Let's talk about some of those breakthroughs, the things that really show how fast this is accelerating, how much more capable AI is becoming. A big one that comes to mind was May 2024. OpenAI dropped GPT-4o. That multimodal capability feels huge. It's not just text anymore. It can understand and generate across text, images, and audio kind of all at once, seamlessly. Imagine you showed a chart, you talk about the chart, and it can just... And then there's the creative side. It feels like whole industries are being shaken up almost overnight. You mentioned Sora earlier, OpenAI's text-to-video thing. You type, robot walks through futuristic Tokyo at night, and boom, you get this high-quality video clip. It makes you wonder, what's the future making movies or ads? How much is human? How much is AI?
Yeah, the potential there is enormous, lowering the barrier for creating really complex visuals. Suddenly, an indie filmmaker or even just one person could visualize something incredibly ambitious. And it's the same in audio. Tools like Suno, Udio, 11 Labs for voice. They're changing music production, narration, everything. Describe a song, generate it. Clone a voice convincingly. People are already using these to co-create, pushing boundaries. It challenges the whole traditional workflow.
So beyond just creating content, we're also seeing AI get, more autonomous, able to tackle complex jobs with multiple steps. Not just answering one question, but actually doing things.
Right.
Like you can now make your own custom GPTs, right? A math tutor bot or an AI travel planner. You can tweak its personality, tell it what it's supposed to do. Makes AI feel much more personal, tailored to specific jobs.
Definitely. And taking that even further, you're seeing these truly agentic systems emerge. Models designed to achieve goals pretty much on their own. You might have heard about Devon AI. It was billed as the first fully autonomous AI software engineer. The claim is it can build a website, find bugs in code, deploy stuff, all from high-level instructions without constant hand-holding. That's a huge shift. AI not just as a tool for one step, but as a system that manages a whole project, a big jump in problem-solving ability.
Wow, yeah, an AI software engineer. Okay, so zooming out a bit, where's all this generative AI actually being used today? Right now, it feels like it's popping up everywhere.
It really is pervasive already. In business, you see it drafting emails, summarizing meetings, boosting customer service chatbots. Education, AI tutors, helping students learn to code.
Creative work, obviously.
Yeah.
Generating art, music, assisting with scripts.
Tech uses it heavily for coding assistance, debugging, speeding up development. Media is using it for video editing, content generation, even e-commerce writing product descriptions, powering virtual try-ons or assistants. It's touching almost every sector, changing how we find information and how we make things.
Okay, so quite a journey we've taken there. From the basics of how it works, the models underneath, to these really rapid advances, and frankly, some pretty mind-bending possibilities opening up.
And I think as you digest all this, the key thing isn't just the technology itself, right? It's the implications. How does this change how we live, how we work, how we create things? And it really underlines, maybe more than ever, the need for critical thinking. With so much generated content flying around,
Yeah,
being able to sort through it, evaluate it, use it wisely, that's going to be crucial.
totally agree. And it prompts you to think, personally, how might this affect my life, my job, my industry? Can you picture having, like, real-time AI companions helping you out via your phone or maybe glasses, or AI assistants trained just on your personal data, knowing what you need before you ask? What about a future where entire movies or novels or complex software are just generated by AI?
Right. And that leads to the big questions to mull over, doesn't it? If AI can create content that feels human, if it can function as an autonomous engineer, what does that really mean for human creativity, for how we solve problems? What kinds of collaboration between us and AI might pop up that we can't even really picture yet as these tools just keep getting better and better? Food for thought.